Class 10th, let's continue the chapter number 11, minerals and energy resources. And in today's class, I'm going to tell you about the non-conventional energy resources, right? And uh, I'm going to tell you about the solar, wind, and your nuclear and biogas generation, as well as the advantages. So let's start the chapter. Let's continue the chapter and turn page number 173. 172. Okay, let's start with the definition of non-conventional energy resources. As we know that the non-conventional energy resources is what they are non-exhaustible. So non-exhaustible means they can be reused, or they can be renewable. They are renewable, right? So they do not cause environment pollution also, and they are freely available, and they are eco-friendly, right? And we are aware that due to modernization, increasing populations, industrializations, and urbanization, the energy resources are in a great demand, but production of fossil fuels are limited. That is why we need to seek, or we need to seek for the another ways to generate to generate energy, right? That is why that is why these tidal energy, wind energy, nuclear, biogas energy generation is very much popular these days, right? Okay, now need for using renewable energy resources. So here are the reasons. Number one is over dependency on fossil fuels. So like growing population, that means a growing demand of your fossil fuels. So fossil fuels means like your coal, petroleum, natural gas, right? So the growing consumption of energy means use of energy has resulted in the country becoming increasingly uh, dependent on fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and natural gas, right? Second is slow rate of formation. As these fossil fuels like your coal, petroleum, natural gas, they take a lot of millions and billions of years to form. So that is why because of their slow rate of formation, this we need to conserve, or we need to use renewable energy resources. Next is rising prices of oil and gas due to high demand of prices of mineral oil, that is petroleum and coal, sharply in the recent years, putting a huge burden on the economy. The potential shortages have raised uncertainties about the security of energy supply in future, which in turn has seen they become the serious problem on the growth of the national economy. So this is one of the reasons why we need to use renewable energy resources such as tidal, hydel, or your wind, or biogas, right? And because of the reason is because of the hike in the prices of petroleum and natural gas, or the fossil fuels, right? Now next is pollutions. Moreover, increasing use of fossil fuels, so fossil fuel using of coals, your petroleum, that they cause serious environmental problems. Hence there is a pressing need to use that renewable energy resources like solar, wind, etc., biomass, your energy from waste materials. These are called non-conventional energy sources. Now next is abundance of renewable energy resource. As India is a tropical country, hot country, so it has enormous possibilities of tapping solar and wind energy, right? So India is a hot country. So hot country means maximum sunlight falls here, and we can convert that solar energy, or the energy we get from sun, into for the useful, we can convert that energy into useful things. Like India is blessed with an abundance of sunlight, water, wind, and biomass also, right? So we can convert these energy into that energy. We can convert those energy, and we can utilize those energy in various ways. Now, first is the solar energy. Solar energy is the energy which is given by the sun, is called solar energy. India, being a tropical country, hot country, is well endowed with plenty of solar energy. As I told you, most parts of country have bright sunshine throughout the year except a brief monsoon period, because monsoon period means rainy season. Solar energy can be used to provide power to solar water heaters, solar refrigerators, and your solar drying, street lighting, cooking, pumping, power generators, and PV technology, that is the photovoltaic technology, converts that sunlight directly into electricity. So it is a recent development in India. So India, being a tropical country, we can store or we can tap solar energy, and we can see here, it's written here, PV technology can convert those solar energy directly into electricity. So it's a recent development in India, right? Now here are the tips for saving energy, how we can save energy. Number one, turn off the lights when you are not using them. Buy energy efficient compact LED lights. Use a power strip to turn off standby power in electronics and appliances. Select the most energy efficient appliances. Walk, ride your bike, take public transportations, or carpool when possible. Carpool means the type of transportations, public transportations. So either you walk or ride on cycle, bicycle, or use public transport to save energy, to save fossil fuels. If purchasing a vehicle, choose an energy efficient one to reduce gasoline bills and emissions. Emissions means to emit out this to reduce that emissions, and to reduce the gasoline bills also. Choose efficient windows and insulating for your home to save energy and money. Now, next, solar energy can be gainfully used in any part of the country except some higher areas in the Himalayas ranges. Why? Because in Himalayan ranges, the sunlight is not sufficient, right? That means there is no bright sunshine throughout the year in this Himalayan ranges. So that is not possible in Himalayan ranges. The Thar Desert of Rajasthan holds a great promise in this directions. Why? Because Thar Desert gets direct sunlight, right? And the Thar Desert of Rajasthan holds great promise in this direction. Now, next is major solar power plants. This is very important, and you need to learn this name of solar power plants. Kalyanpur in Aligarh district and Sarai Sadi in district of Uttar Pradesh. Next is Gurgaon in Haryana. The largest solar panel of India is located in where? Located at Madhopur near Bhuj to sterilize milk cans. Sterilize milk cans means to boil those cans to get the germ-free cans. What is needed? Heat is needed. So heat they get from the solar plant, right? Now next is the use of solar energy should be encouraged, because solar panel or solar energy is what? Environment friendly, does not emit harmful pollutants, or emits harmful pollutants. Power plants which are catering the maximum amount for energy needs use fossil fuels to generate electricity and emit harmful greenhouse which are disturbing the balance of the nature. So if we don't use solar panel or solar energy, in place of this we have to use fossil fuels, right? So fossil fuels means emitting harmful pollutants, which is not good for environment, not good for human health, not good for living creatures, right? And fossil fuels emit those gases which are emit harmful greenhouse gases which are disturbing the balance of nature environment. Now next is renewable resource. So these are renewable. Solar energy is what? Renewable means we can use it again and again, and they are, or it is inexhaustible, right? So, but fossil fuels are what? If we use fossil fuels excessively, one day will come that it will exhaust fossil fuel. Next is reductions in deforestation. So now the solar energy can be helpful in reducing the dependency of rural household on firewood, because in village area people still use what? Firewoods. And for those firewoods, what they do, they cut down the trees, cut down the trees in large quantity. That means deforestations, right? So this reduces the rate of deforestation. If we use solar energy or wind energy or biogas, that will reduce the deforestation. Saving of cow dung. The use of solar energy can reduce the dependency of the rural people, that is the village people, on cow dung, which is good and environment friendly source of manure. Low maintenance cost. Once the solar panel or solar plant is installed, after that these plants are maintenance free. So these reduces cost of production of power, right? Now next is wind energy. Energy is also an important source of non-conventional energy, and India ranks as a wind superpower in the world now. The cost inputs are only at the initial stage, and the power generation starts immediately after commissioning. So at the time of installation only the cost is more, and after that the maintenance cost is also low, as well as the power generation starts immediately after commissioning. Once the generation starts, cost of the power is available for about 20 years once it is installed, and for 20 years it can generate power. And it's written here cost free power. So cost free means it will charge nothing, right, for the generation of energy, because there is no recurring cost on fuel. India has vast wind power potential. The gross wind power potential of India is estimated to about 49,000 megawatt. The high energy regions of India are Gujarat, parts of your Rajasthan, Jaisalmer, Nagarcoil, Western Madhya Pradesh, coastal belts also, and southern Tamil Nadu, and your Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea islands, and some parts of Karnataka. Some of the schemes for producing electricity from wind energy have already been implemented. For example, a wind energy power station of 1 megawatt capacity has been established in Okha in Gujarat. As of, it's written here, November 2015, the installed capacity of wind power in India was 24,000 megawatt, which was 1.6% of country's power, mainly spread across Tamil Nadu, that is 7,000 megawatt. Wind power is continuously growing in the world and acting as mainstream power supplier in many countries. And as you know that India has become the we can say India has become what? India has become a wind superpower in the world. right? Now, next is biogas. Biogas is the energy obtained from organic waste which is converted into energy by direct combustion or by conversion of such waste into alcohol, methane, or other storage fuels. So, biogas we get from organic waste. When it is directly we convert that organic waste into energy by direct combustions or direct heating or by conversion of such waste into alcohol, methane, or other storage fuels. Raw materials for biogas. What are the raw materials? For example, animal dung, poultry waste, vegetable waste, waste paper, cotton clothes, plants waste, for example, grass, husk, leaves, skins, weeds, etc. Human excreta also and birds excreta also. So these are the raw materials for biogas. So raw materials means these organic waste can be converted into energy by direct combustions or by conversion it into alcohol, methane, or other fuels. Manufacture of dung or gobar gas, that is biogas plants using cattle dung are known as gobar gas plants. It is produced by anaerobic degradation of cattle dung. So what is anaerobic? Anaerobic means without use of oxygen. It is produced by without use of oxygen degradations of cow dung. Biogas is what? Biogas is produced after organic matters like your plants and animals are broken down in an oxygen free. So anaerobic degradation means without using oxygen free environment, a process called anaerobic degradation or anaerobic digestions, right? So this anaerobic this system is used to recycle organic matter and turn them into the biogas, as well as which contains that biogas gas that contains gas, that is a biogas, and the liquid and solid form also, right? Now next is reason for the considering biogas as an ideal domestic fuel. Why biogas is considered as an ideal good domestic fuel, ideal domestic fuel? Number one, it burns without smoke, thereby causing no pollution. Secondly, high calorific value. So high calorific value means heating capacity is much better, and it is the cheapest gaseous fuel. So cheapest means it is not very expensive, easily available. Gobar gas plants provide twin benefits to the farmers in the form of energy, because farmers, villagers, they used this gobar gas as energy, as well as improved quality of manures, because gobar gas after burning it, the leftover is what it helps in improving the quality of manures, because that ash can be utilized as fertilizer, so that it can improve the quality of manures, or it improves the quality of manure. Now next is which is in your syllabus, that is your nuclear energy. The heat energy produced in the nuclear fission reactions can be used for producing electrical energy. Nuclear energy is obtained from uranium and thorium. Just underline these two elements. Uranium and thorium are the elements used to obtain energy, nuclear energy. The nuclear energy contributes only 2.9 of our country or total power generation, but it has a vast potential for future development, because number one, the demand for energy is increasing day by day. The natural energy resources like coal, petroleum will last for cannot last for a long time, so the nuclear energy will dominate. So we know that the energy fossil fuels, like they, if we utilize them or if we misuse them, they can last one day, right? So the nuclear energy will dominate at that time. Secondly, a small input can release enormous lot of amount of energy. For example, 1 gram of uranium can release 6.2 into 1.3 of energy, right? Thirdly, nuclear energy is very economical. So you just imagine, from 1 gram of uranium can release a lot of energy. So it is very economical, right? Now the raw materials from which this nuclear energy can be produced, that is uranium and thorium, are used to produce nuclear energy. These are found in India, Jharkhand, Rajasthan and Kerala. Clear? Okay. Though non-conventional energy resources have a lot of benefits, and we can get a lot of benefits from it, from them, but they have their limitations also. So limitations are like, the demerits are like, the cost of installation is very high, and secondly, cannot install those panel or the plants everywhere, right? So we need a proper and convenient place for the installation of that those plants. And thirdly, like, I'll take you example of windmill. So a windmill causes lot of noise, right? And it also disturbs the TV broadcast, and it also harms the birds, right? So many limitations are there. So we can say that the non-conventional energy resources have both advantages and uh, disadvantages, right? Okay, now, so here we have completed this chapter, and in the next video I'll come up with a new chapter and some new interesting topics. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.